Hello everyone, we are back with a new rectification. We've got here the godfather of poker, Mr. Doyle Brunson. Very interesting to analyze the charts of poker players because we can take a look at very large financial swings and earning potential and ups and downs and the problems that they go through. So very interesting to read their base horoscopes and see the base potentials, both the positive and the negative. And now for Doyle, if we look at this base horoscope here, we can tell that at the level of health, not very good. And the reason for that is you have the ruler of the ascendant in a bad cosmic state. Of course, the ascendant is a critical point at the level of health. And aside from that, now this guy has had many problems with cancer. And the planet related to cancer is Pluto. And we can see here it's very badly placed in this horoscope. Scorpio on the 12th and Pluto in the 8th. And they sextile the ruler of the ascendant here. This is something that facilitates the development of cancer cells, mainly because Pluto rules cancer and Jupiter rules expansion. So that's not very positive. He has the ruler of the 6th house squaring the ascendant also, the planet being in a bad cosmic state as well. Now, at the level of gambling, he has a tight Uranus conjunction with the 5th house, and here we can see the large pots that he plays. This Uranus is actually a part of a T-square between not a part of, but it's connected to a T-square which is made up of the Moon, Mars and Pluto being in the 8th house here, almost in conjunction with the cusp. It's a bit far away, 6 degrees and 40 minutes, 6 degrees and 39 minutes. But this planet here is Uranus is important because it's connected. It receives the effect of this T-square. Now, Doyle had his sister commit suicide, and he had one child die at the age of 18. And here we can see a justification for this event through Uranus, basically, because it's the ruler of the 3rd, which is related to siblings, and it's in conjunction with a house related to children, and it receives a square here from Pluto from the 8th house. Of course, being installed in the 4th house is related to the family, so of course it can justify the 2 deaths. Death of a child and death of a sibling in the family. Also, you have Mars here in a bad cosmic condition opposing the moon. He also got his gallbladder removed. Gallbladder, of course, ruled by the moon and the sign of Cancer. And we can see it here placed in the 12th. Placed on the 8th, the sign of Cancer. And Pluto squaring the moon from the 8th house, indicating surgery on this bodily organ. Also he had cancer of the skin, of course being related to Saturn, not favorable to receive an opposition from the sun placed in the 8th. And one final thing at the level of health, he developed a tumor on his throat, cancerous tumor, malignant. And we can see here the weakness in the area of the throat from the sign of Taurus being placed on the 6th, and the planet Venus, which rules the throat in a bad cosmic state and squaring the ascendant. So that's what I have at the level of health. Sorry, I'm talking a lot about health stuff, but this square here actually generated a lot of tension in the form of growth. And of course this Jupiter here helps a bit. It's in a bad cosmic state, but it helps a bit. these three planets here and the conjunction of the sun with the ninth actually help a bit in his book writing, because he wrote a few books about poker. So one positive thing I was able to spot here at the level of health was the trine from the sun in a good cosmic state, trining the ascendant. So that helped him cope a bit with his health issues. I mean, he defeated cancer multiple times, so this is a good justification for his health victories. Also, Neptune is squaring the ascendant, so. Okay, let's look a bit at the rectification here. Now, I've collected a few events for our rectification. Births of children, deaths of his sister and his daughter, and his marriage date. So these are the events that I'm going to be using. Let's check first, just with the transits. We can also check converse transits, which are very useful, but I'm just going to limit myself here to direct transits, because they're enough, basically. Death of daughter, and death of sister. His sister committed suicide because she lost her vision and she didn't want to live without any eyesight, so she committed suicide. For the death of the daughter, we can see here the opposition of Pluto to the 5th house, which is related to children, obviously. And we have a square here from Saturn to the 8th. The south node is opposing the 8th house also. For the death of his sister, got the wrong date here. Death of his sister, we can see here the planet Neptune right on top of a house related to siblings. And the orb I'm applying here is 6 degrees and 30 minutes. So this Neptune shouldn't be 6 degrees and 30 minutes away from the cusp. If it was away, then I would try to bring it closer by adjusting the birth time. And it's the same for this Pluto here. I can show you an example. Like if it was... see, this is 4. Let's just remove the minutes here and just... so this is 8 degrees away from the cusp of the 11th, which is an opposition here to the 5th. So what I would do is I would try to go back with the time to try to bring this aspect to an orb of 6 degrees and 30 minutes. Okay, so now it gets closer, and I'll just keep moving it back until I'm satisfied with the result. And I try to search for a time within where this Pluto is an orb of an opposition with the 5th house, and the orb is 6 degrees and 30 minutes. So since we know that the recorded birth time is not very far away from the real birth time that we have here, because we just checked our transits, we can search with our software now, and we get a table of rectification peaks. And for me, I chose this time here, which is 32 seconds before the recorded birth time, because his recorded birth time is 21:20. The time that I chose is this 21:19:28, so 32 minutes. And we can check here our primary and secondary directions. Of course, in the topocentric system of houses, for his marriage we have this indicative direction here, birth of daughter. Again, these two are very indicative. Uranus moves from here to a conjunction with the IC. This north node squares the fifth house, indicating the birth of a child. Birth of daughter. Here we have a very nice interplanetary aspect, Venus opposing the moon. Birth of sun. The ascendant and trine to Venus, very appropriate for the birth of a son. And we have another interplanetary direction here, Venus opposing Uranus. We have a square from the fifth house to the north node again, the part of fortune in conjunction with the moon, and the trine from Mars here to the IC. This is also appropriate. Fifth house and trine to Pluto. For the death of the daughter, we have a trine from the fifth house to Saturn, also very appropriate. Here we have an opposition from Venus to the IC, very frequent in the deaths of females. Death of friend. Here he has his gallbladder removed, and we can see here the square of Saturn to the Sun. The opposition of the 12th to Mercury. So the 12th house related to surgeries moves from here to here, about here, Aquarius, the beginning of Aquarius to oppose Mercury. This is another surgery for Cancer. The death of his sister. This is a critical event and was very important for me in the rectification of his birth time, because the critical aspect that appears here is a square from the third to Neptune. So the third house moves from here in converse motion, of course, from here to about here, 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and the orb is 0.8 minutes. This is a critical aspect here to have, very defining in the rectification for me. It was a defining aspect for me to choose this time. Also this opposition here from the south node. The south node goes into a conjunction here with the descendant. I can show it to you here. See here, south node conjunction descendant. So this is the rectification here that I have for the godfather of poker. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please leave a like and hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching, and take care.